Hello everybody, this is CapG, and today I am going to be visiting an old game that I haven't played in a while, Automation plus BeamNG Drive. So, I'm going to be making a random car. So, let's see what we have here. So, the first thing I want to check out is Chevy. I really would like to base a car off of a Chevy. I'm not gonna do an EV right now, but the Trailblazer looks pretty cool, so might choose that. I don't feel like doing the Camaro. Chevy Equinox is kind of cool too, or the Trax. But yeah, let's check out the Trailblazer. Let's do build and buy. So let's build one really quickly. So it has a 1.3 liter turbo, or, okay, it's still a 1.3 liter turbo, 9-speed automatic. It has a weird colored top, like a different colored top. It's about $30,000, it will be fine. RS, Active, LT, LS. Okay, we have some weird names. Okay, the only weird name is Active, but we have touch screens. I don't know. They don't seem to be adding too much stuff. It also seems like it's literally the same engine. I'm trying to figure out what they've changed. We would just start out with the LS. Yeah, because we're not doing front wheel drive. I'll choose a color and automation later. But Crimson Metallic probably looks best. Yeah. Now for the interior. We have gray or black, and I think black is the best for like an off-road. And then none of those. We'll figure that out later. So, interesting enough, it has a 1.3 liter inline 4, I think. So, that's going to be a little bit of an interesting engine to make. So, let's open up automation. I looked at the car for like 5 seconds, so I'm gonna really butcher it. But we shall, because this is gonna be my second actual good card that I've actually built, not counting all of my joke cars. My last one is the one in the background right now, not this one, but yeah. And then for the engine, we have the Fuma LE250, the Fuma 220 V6, the 250 is a V8, 220 is a V6 obviously, 350 is a V8, and honestly, I have no fucking clue what that one is. And we can delete this because that's a piece of shit. New car model. It's not a sedan or a wagon or a hatchback or a coupe. SUV, utility, MPV. It's not a van. But, I mean, we're getting some similar body styles so far. Let's see here. It's kind of cubic. So, we don't have a lot of cubic options here, but it's a 5-door, that's a 5-door. This one's shorter. So this, I think we're gonna choose this one. We're gonna choose aluminum because like this is a newer car. They're not gonna choose steel, even though I prefer that they would. But you know, now we're gonna choose monocoque. I would normally choose a ladder frame for an off-road build. Monocoque is a little bit more lightweight, compact, all of the other stuff. Normally you'd put them on cars. This is more of a crossover type thing. So, yeah. Now, for this, I haven't really thought about this too much, but I'm pretty sure we're just going to use galvanized steel. Or corrosion resistant. Yeah, let's do corrosion resistant. Engine placement is going to be front transverse, so it's going to be looking like this. It's not going to be going down like this. Now for the suspension, I'm going to put... This is where it gets a little complicated, because normally I would put coil suspension, because this is going to be like an off-road build. But I'm really tempted to do double wishbone. Now, obviously, that's what I always do. But if we do double wishbone on both of them, it might just ride better. I have no clue, but we'll see how it works out. I don't feel like they would do that on an off-road build, but I don't really care anymore. So it's an inline 4, and I would like to say that it's going to be aluminum heavy, because it rides the smoothest. It's not that loud. Yeah, it does not have the best cooling, but we shall see. 1.3 liter, but I don't want to do 1.3 liter because I'm not trying to copy the exact thing. I would like to do like a 1.8 liter. So we will do that. Dual overhead cam. Let's do 4 valves and an aluminum head material. So now that we're into the crank section, it gets a little bit complicated here again, because I'm not doing cast iron, and so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to do forged steel light, forged light, and then forged light. We're going to use a harmonic damper instead of balance shafts. I normally go for well, okay, yeah. Depending on the type of year, I'll go for balance shafts. But now, on the compression scale, I'm gonna start out at 9.8 to 1. But I'm probably gonna have to take it down because of the turbo. Now, for the cam profile, I'm actually going to move this up a little bit to, I think, 5,500 here, because I would like to take this to 7,000 RPM. So we will see how that works. Obviously VVT on all the cams and VBL, but we're gonna adjust the VBL a little later. We're also gonna put on the quality later too. We're not gonna put on the turbocharger right now, but we will later. Direct injection. Let's do per cylinder. Standard mid. We'll mess with the manifold size later. I'm not doing super, but it is going to be unleaded. Might do advanced. I already did, but like negative 0.5 should work fine. And quality, still doing that later. Compact cast headers. No bypass valves. Exhaust size can be a 2.5. Actually, I'm not sure if that's really realistic, but we're gonna do that. High flow 3-way. The first one is going to be baffled, and we're not going to choose a second one. Second muffler. Alright, now we have everything. Let's check out the specs. I mean, obviously, right now, this is without a turbocharger or anything. I think the highest we're hitting is 120 peak pound-foot of torque and 110 horsepower, pretty much. So, stress, knocking a little bit. add a little bit more pounds to the harmonic damper. That should fix that. With the flow, the headers are... God, the headers are... Oh my god. Okay, the headers are being really overly utilized. So I think what we're going to have to do is switch to cast mid and then take these up to 70. No, we might have to take them up to 80, but I think we should be fine with 70 for right now. The exhaust we can put on with a pre-cat because of... If we do 2 baffled, it should make it even quieter, and it is... The exhaust is still fine. It's a little over 100%. That should be fine. I think we have up to like 200 before everything screws itself over. Now cast mid is like the... I don't think you'd get it straight out of the factory with anything else. We might take this up to 80 though. Yeah, see, we're good now. As long as everything is under like 110%, I would be fine. Now the valves are kind of screwed. You know, adding on bypass valves, you would think that would fix it, but it doesn't. So the first thing we're going to do is take up the quality of this to 5, or let's just stick with 4 for right now. The valves are still the same. So what we could do is, back to the type of engine this is, we could take up the amount of valves that we have here. Okay, if we put on... I don't want to put on 5 valves, actually. I want to stick with 4 valves. Now with the quality, we can take this up to 6. And the quality of this... Yeah, we're getting no knocking now. We're good with knocking. Yeah, I'm not... Hold on. Okay. There we go. Give it a little bit of a wider bore here. Hopefully, yeah, that's taking up a lot of engine space though. But, you know, we'll stick with that for right now. Now, right off the bat, you're noticing that we're getting about 150 horsepower, which is already quite a bit for this kind of car. I would like to hit around 230 horsepower peak, obviously, because this is an off-road car. It's the off-road version of the Blazer, so we are going to make it a little bit more powerful than the base model. So now that we have some of these figured out, we need to make the intake manifold a little bit bigger. We should be able to be fine with 60. Let's take it up to 70. Now, if you notice, it now takes a little longer to get to peak horsepower, peak torque. But once it gets there, it goes a little bit higher than it was before. So we're getting like a 2 foot-pound of torque, 2 horsepower gain. More like a 1 foot-pound of torque to 2 horsepower gain here. Now, we are getting 21.3 miles per gallon right now. The engine is pretty reliable, but once we put the turbocharger on here, it's not going to be very reliable. So the first thing that I would like to do is on emissions here. Let's give this 8, because this is a modern engine. And modern engines have to abide by those rules a little bit more. So we notice that the headers are far down. So we can go to the headers and take this down to like 70. We could probably take it down to 60. Yeah, okay. So our horsepower foot-pound of torque gain is a little bit lower than it was before, but it's still good. The exhaust is also not going over 100 anymore after we fixed the issue with the valves. So That's good. Now, we have some unutilized fuel octane, but we're not going to mess with that because we are going to be putting on the turbo. So our emissions are pretty good. We're getting a solid amount of fuel efficiency, 21 miles per gallon at this point. But once we put on the turbo, all of that's going to get a little better, except for reliability. Reliability, as you can see, reliability 92.5 right now. We put that on. Okay, it's still 92.5. Honestly, it didn't change like anything. I mean, we're up to 158 horsepower. We're going to add on Smart Boost instead of Wastegate. So that's going to be a little bit interesting. Difference of Wastegate and Smart Boost is a little bit unnoticeable, but 28 pounds of, hold on, let me see here. Yeah, 28 pounds a minute of air coming through there. Engine efficiency was not affected at all. Turbo's expensive because this is like the main thing that's gonna actually be powering this. So it doesn't have a lot of PSI in terms of turbine inducer. I mean, the first thing I'm noticing right now, the compressor. This is the compressor. We need to take that up a little bit because it's at 125. The highest I want to make this is 3.8. Oh, the, interesting. The turbocharger's literally not changing the engine at all. Okay, something happened to the engine. Now it's not. Yeah, okay. Oh, so like after this, it just stopped updating. Okay. That's fun. High flow three-way plus precat. We have that. The headers are low. The headers are okay. Alright, because we had them on cast mid, I believe. We were able to take this down to 60. Yeah, okay. And everything here was fine. Okay. Adding the turbocharger is still not doing anything. Oh boy. Okay. I'll have to fix that later. But, I guess it's time to play Minecraft.